Today we're going to be using some of this beautiful old Vic Ash flooring, which was pulled out of a house just around the corner from the workshop. It's been sitting under the floor for about 50 or 60 years, so it's really beautifully seasoned timber. So now that we've cut all of our little bits of timber, we're just going to use the tongue and grooves that are still there from the old floorboards. If you don't have any access to some clamps, it's really no worries. You just put clamp some bits of wood to the table or screw them down, and then you can just stick these pieces of wood in between and just apply a little bit of pressure to them, and that will help the glue do what it needs to do to pop it all together. So we'll just screw these clamps up. This glue is available any of your regular hardware stores. It's a water-based glue, so we just get a wet rag, wipe off the excess glue, which makes life a lot easier when it comes sanding time. And any time you can save on sanding is a good time. Alright, so once you've glued that up and left it in the clamps, if you can just leave it overnight, that'll be plenty of time for the glue to dry. I'm actually going to sand it with a belt sander. If you don't have access to a belt sander, you can actually sand this with a hand block and a roll of sandpaper. It will take a bit longer, but it will work just as well. So once you've given that a belt sand or even a hand sand back, now's a good time to fill all your little holes if you want to. I mean, we're going to leave this board quite rustic, so I'm not going to fill any of those. So what we'll do next is drill a little hole, which you can use for hanging up your board or just to hold on to while you're serving it. Now what we'll do is give that little corner a little rub so we don't have any sharp edges sticking out there. Once you've given it a sand off, just grab a bottle of olive oil. Don't hold back with it. And then, this is actually one of the really nice parts of working with timber, is when you oil the timber, you get to see all the beautiful timber colours that are there. So there's a couple of ways you can basically put on a really thick layer of olive oil. Don't try and wipe it off, just try and let it sit there for a moment, let it soak in. You can actually leave it sitting on your sink overnight and let it really soak in there, and then you just basically wipe off the excess oil. Once you've wiped your olive oil all over the board, that's all you need to do. If it ever looks dry, you just wipe some more over it, and it's time to go and get some cheese and bread and olives and fill it up.